Alright, in this video I have a new level that I've designed. Unfortunately, I'm not using an artist, so the level design is still pretty horrific. And in this video, I'm going to show ray collision detection with convex brushes or convex hulls. So if I fire off a ray, that little red box that you see shows where it intersected with the world geometry. So I can keep firing and it'll collide with the level. So if I go over here some steps, there's some other ones here, I can shoot off another ray and it'll hit it perfectly. So for this, I chose to use convex hulls or convex collision brushes as opposed to polygons, which I used in another game I worked on for the arcade, mainly for speed reasons. It's much quicker to use collision detection with convex brushes as opposed to straight triangles. The calculations are more complicated with triangles, and since a convex brush is just composed of a bunch of 3D planes that enclose the volume, it's just a bunch of plane against ray tests to do the collision. So it's really quickly, and I do some other optimizations to speed it up even more. Of course, the disadvantage is that the artist will have to generally do a separate level for the collision. So he'll model something in Maya, say for the geometry that's going to be displayed, and then later he'll create a separate collision mesh for the brushes. That isn't really such a bad thing because the levels are relatively small, and also he would probably more than likely would have to design the collision mesh even if he were using polygons, because he would have to cut down on the number of polygons that are used for the collision, since the CPU on the iPhone is not as powerful as say the on a Intel based machine. So he'd still wind up doing separate geometry for the collision. So I don't think it's that big of a loss. It's just that now he has to deal with brushes. However, the collision geometry is still modeled in Maya, and he still uses polygons. What I do is on export with the plugin, I convert it to collision brushes. So it's just normal modeling as before. So the artist it doesn't have to learn any new tools. He just models in Maya, and when I export, I convert everything to convex collision brush. And I'll shoot some more. Oh, there it is. If we go back to the stairs, there's a railing. Yeah, right there. The other data structure that I used is axis-aligned bounding box tree to store the collision brushes. That way it does traversal of the binary tree to figure out what brushes it needs to consider for collision. So there's more speed ups in that regard, since I'm only considering a small percentage of the brushes when trying to detect collision. And if I aim correctly, I can aim through the... And if you see, you can see some Z fighting here. Let me move. That's because I don't know how to model. So when I get an artist, obviously all these problems will go away. But it works perfectly. No flaws, and it's also very stable since all I'm doing are some plane tests in 3D. Let me see what else. We can move up here. So now I have it, I decided to let it just move permanently. So we can go through the level. And as you can see, it shoots. And it's fairly accurate even when I'm moving around. Now, for the next demo, what I'm going to do is, okay, I have ray collisions working, but as you can see, the camera goes straight through the level. So that's what I'll be working on next. Having it so that I can't go through the level with the camera and having it respond. But for now, I have ray collisions working with convex brushes, and it's very accurate. And till next time, that's what I have to show for this week's work. Thanks and bye.